Hey, friends, it's time for Thought Shifting Thursdays.
Welcome.
We're going to talk about Mercury Retrograde today. And
Because it's been affecting us.
yeah, man, it's been knocking the hell out of us, actually. And it usually doesn't, And I wanted to start out by saying, I don't want to give my power away to astrology, right, or to astrological influences. But sometimes it's worth taking note of. The effects.
Paying attention. Paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. Being mindful.
Uh-huh.
So you did some research on it today because, we're not astrologers, so we're not experts in this field at all. We just know that it's been kicking our butt a little bit. So you did some research today. What did you find? What are the effects of Mercury retrograde?
It can mess with your relationship, number one.
We found.
It can fog your brain so you're not thinking correctly.
Man,
It can
I
zap
relate to
your it can zap your energy.
Hmm.
So you might have a lot of energy or no energy.
Or frenetic energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
a lot of different things.
You know more about it than I do. Yeah, when I learned something interesting when I just was looking up the dates today. And if you didn't know, so Mercury went retrograde on the September 9th, and it'll be going out of retrograde October 2nd. We're going to talk a little bit more about the cycle and how that works. But one thing I learned today is that, I'm a Libra, so it's in the sign of Libra, so it's going to affect Libras more. I think it said Libra, Sagittarius, and
Virgo?
no, not Virgo. There was one other, Aries. I think it said this particular
Period.
period cycle will affect people more from those signs. Again, not an astrologer, can't verify any of that, but the important thing is to notice how you feel. Now, so have you noticed any of those effects, right? Oh, that's just an email coming in, or text. Have you noticed those effects? It also affects technology because it's part of communication. It's really Mercury rules communication. And so communication between people, communication with your devices, or any way you're trying to communicate. So if you had any computer problems, phone problems, people canceling things, changing their mind. One interesting thing, the Phoenix bookstore, I don't think they're still around, but they were, maybe they still are, I don't know, in Santa Monica. Really popular metaphysical bookstores. I mean, most bookstores aren't around anymore, right? Because it's all online. But they had a no return cancellation policy, but during Mercury retrograde, they would drop that policy because they just didn't want to argue with people all the time because it was just too difficult because they understood what was going on, right? So here's one thing that I was told years ago, and it really, really helped me to understand the effects of Mercury retrograde. Is what does that mean, actually, Mercury retrograde? Retrograde means it's going away from our planet, but what's actually happening is Mercury goes around the sun faster than the Earth. And so Mercury is actually going by the Earth, and then once it starts to go by the Earth, that's retrograde. When it gets to the halfway point and it's moving toward the Earth, then it's going out of retrograde, right? Or into whatever they call that. So, and the way it was described to me is if you imagine that you're in a small boat, the Earth, and another boat, a bigger boat, or a boat that has a lot of influence, such as Mercury, is going by you, then it creates these wakes, right? And so the wakes just shake everything up. And what they're shaking up then is the communication, right? And the relationships and the technology. So, so what that means, and this is really important to note, is that when Mercury is going by, maybe even a little bit before, because the wakes start to come even before, and then while it's going by, and then right afterwards you'll get the biggest wakes. That's when it's going to affect you the most. in that first week, I would say, maybe 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I don't think, it only lasts about 3 weeks. So you're not going to be feeling it much into the third week because it's almost all the way around to, the new cycle. So that's important to note. But we want to talk about what affected us personally because we like to get personal. So do you want to start with that?
How did it affect me this time? I've never really believed in this stuff before. Never really paid 100% of my attention.
It's probably
maybe
that might be a good thing.
Maybe because I don't feel like it really affected me that much. I mean, it obviously affects people in different ways, and if we're not paying attention, we're not figuring out, why am I so irritated?
Right.
Or why am I not so tired? Or why do I have all this energy? What do I want to, And that's me most of the time.
You don't need Mercury retrograde to be in that state.
So no, in that instance, I need to calm down. I need rest. I need to chill. That's what happens to me. Too much energy.
Yeah.
So I have to blow it off somehow.
And the reason I say it may be better if you don't know that it's coming, right? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people who look at who are keeping track of these things.
Yes.
Who see, Mercury retrograde is coming. That's a bad thing, right? And so you're putting negative energy. You're giving it more power.
Or if you're more mindful, you prepare for it.
Yes.
You take precautions.
Yeah, that's the healthy way to do it. But I do know people who think, this is a bad thing, and how are we going to get through it? And you're giving more power to it, and then it's going to affect you more than if you don't even know about it, right?
Yeah.
But I'll say this too, and probably some people are affected more by it than other people,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
And I have, when I first learned about this in my teens, I could feel it, and I would make sure that I had some good pot ready, because that's how I dealt with stress at that time. Then I learned to meditate, and I have a lot of other tools that help me to deal with stress or communication issues or whatever. But I could feel it. I remember one specific instance. I was driving with a bunch of friends, I think home from a concert or something, and we were all and we were having these conversations, and no one could understand anyone. It's like we were all speaking different languages. It's crazy. Hi, Naomi, and it's just all Naomi. Slowing down and rest, finishing projects, people from the past rekindle, positive qualities. All right, all good messages. And there have been times in my life where I'll just notice, wow, things feel off right now. I'm having a hard time concentrating or communicating, and so I call one of my astrologer friends and say, hey, is Mercury retrograde? And they say, yep, you got it. So that was confirmation for me, because I would feel it even when I didn't know it was coming. So I think this time I did know it ahead of time. Somebody told me, and then I don't know if that was in the middle of or before our first little miscommunication, which became a fight. And usually we don't fight. It's very rare these days. It used to be more common back in the day. So yeah, you were saying something to me in a way that felt. It's a tone thing. It's a tone thing.
It's a tone thing for you, yes.
And I blew up, and it's a rare thing when I blow up. And we talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago when it occurred. And something really good came out of that, right? Is we came up with a thing about recognizing tone, because flowers is the word we use now when we want somebody to just
to notice,
back off on the tone a little bit, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes we're not aware of our tones.
Yes.
And And so that's the good that came out of it. So in the moment, it was very uncomfortable, and we had a hard time for a couple days. You didn't talk to me for a couple days, so that solved the communication problem.
Hey, that's what I need. I just need to disengage and to go within and try to figure out what's my part of it and how to fix it.
Right. And just last Sunday, we had another miscommunication, and I took it really hard, and usually I don't, but
so your emotions were higher.
exactly. Right, much more reactive, much more sensitive.
Yes.
That's what we said. I don't know if we addressed Mercury retrograde. We might have said it slightly a couple weeks ago when it first started happening, but I know we talked about this challenge that we were having and how sensitive we both felt, and our daughter was having a hard time with her relationship, being more sensitive, and so on. So whatever spiritual practice that you employ, just up it during Mercury retrograde if it's affecting you. And if you don't know if it's affecting you, if you want to know when those dates are, just Google it, right? You put some down the dates for. So we're going out of retrograde, as we said, October 2nd.
There's another one in December.
Right. There's usually like four per year that last about 3 weeks. Some people say, who are really into this stuff, into astrology, say, don't sign any contracts during Mercury retrograde because
don't make any big decisions.
That's right. You read that too.
Yes.
So, I don't know if I agree with that. I just say be more mindful about it. If you're going to sign a contract, read all the fine print. Boy, we've gotten screwed a couple times by not doing that. And there's so much fine print in a contract. And it's and you figure it's all boilerplate stuff, but you never know. They might be slipping stuff in.
Yes.
So just be extra mindful during Mercury retrograde. Definitely up your spiritual practices. What else?
More self-care.
Self-care.
Self-care. Exercise more, rest more. Take it easy.
Yeah, do that exercise and get that frenetic energy out. And
try.
yourself down. Meditate, people. I should one of these Thought Shifting Thursdays. I should play a song that I wrote. That's actually on when St. Martin's Press asked me to write this book on meditation, the simple and practical way. And we did they asked me to, they hired me to do the audio version as well, all of which you can get on Amazon. I played my song for them and said, you want to use this, right? I'm not really much of a singer, songwriter, but it really fit. And if I had my guitar, should I get my guitar? No. She doesn't want me to do it. But the publishing company seemed to like it better than my wife did, and said, "Yeah, let's put it at the end of the audio book." So there it is. Maybe the next time that she's not with me on Thought Shifting, I'll sing the song for you. But it's all about. Let's see. I'll give you a bit of the chorus. Just. And I won't do it. I'll do it with my guitar. So I think that's it for today. Other than
main thing is be mindful of it.
Right.
It is affecting you somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Just pay attention to how it's affecting you.
Yeah, and embrace your feelings. When you're feeling out of sorts, meditate, do your spiritual practice. But it's really important to embrace whatever feelings you have. I was doing a EMDR session with someone yesterday, and we were really emphasizing this.
What's that?
EMDR, and I'm not certified in EMDR, but I've been trained by a master teacher in it, actually. So I don't advertise that I do it very much, but it's a very powerful system, and it's known for, I forget even what the acronym even means, but you can Google that. But one of the ways that is people process their feelings while doing eye movement is one way. I like to do it with tapping because it's a lot of people, including myself, find it more difficult to be in touch with your feelings. And it's used for PTSD. It's used for healing trauma. There are actually some online tools to do this on your own. Certified EMDR people will say, no, that's not a good way to do it, but there are people doing it that way and getting results.
So you were doing that with somebody
Yeah,
yesterday.
and so we just emphasize the importance of embracing one's feelings, right? I say this a lot to people, that if it's not okay to feel sad, then it's not okay to be me, right? And so by dissing or trying to get rid of any uncomfortable feelings, we're really saying it's not okay to be me, which is the opposite of self-love, right? So whether you're angry or sad or fearful or just frenetic because of Mercury retrograde, embrace the feelings, bring love to it. Rather than trying to get rid of them, bring love to it. Surrender into it. Embrace everything. Resist nothing.
Oh.
Aho. So that's our message for today. Next week we're preparing for our Primal Fire Catalina retreat. So we'll still do Thought Shifting Thursday. And the week after that, there'll be a bunch of people staying here from the retreat. They're coming in next Friday, and so we'll have a little group Thought Shifting Thursday like we did last year. So that's what's coming up. So if you got some value from this today, give us a like, comments. How does it affect you?
Share it.
Share it, and we'll see you next week. All right.
Take care.
Have a great weekend.